Here we are with the second episode of the Shoegazing podcast with me, Jesper Ingevaldsson. I run the classic men's shoe blog Shoegazing, which you may visit at shoegazing.se/English for much more on the topic. In this episode, I met the famous Japanese bespoke shoemaker Yohei Fukuda, who, besides making some of the finest shoes in the world, also have been very successful with creating a brand image, something quite difficult, especially for small bespoke shoemakers. So it's around this topic we focused our discussion. So, Yohei Fukuda, welcome to the Shoegazing podcast.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, good. Feels good to be back here in your nice showroom.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's good to see you again in Tokyo.
So, start a bit from the beginning, so to speak. So, how long have you run the Yohei Fukuda workshop now?
I started my brand in 2008, and I started shoemaking in 2001. So I have been making shoes for 18 years.
So it's been quite a while now.
It's been quite a while, yeah.
And as many others, you studied shoemaking in England, and you worked for a while there before coming back to Japan to start your own brand. What was your vision with the Yohei Fukuda shoemaker brand when you set it up?
Like 10 years ago, when you ask gentlemen, like, which country makes the best shoes, probably gentlemen would say the best shoe, like classic men's shoes, are made in Italy, France, England. I don't think any gentleman would name Japan, but I knew there are so many like young, motivated people who would like to be like bespoke shoemakers. So I thought, yeah, it would be a good challenge to work with Japanese people, and yeah, we can try and introduce good Japanese shoes to the world. So people like in the world, they notice Japanese brands, Japanese shoes.
But so you already from the start pictured it to be not only you, but a workshop, a group with people?
No, when I started my brand, it was just myself.
Yeah. But the vision, so to speak.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. When I started, I wanted to work with good Japanese shoemakers. It's like difficult to make like many shoes if I'm working alone. I can probably make 3 pairs a month.
And today you are one of the most successful Japanese bespoke shoemakers.
Oh, thank you.
You are. And what is the reason for this, would you say?
I think I'm a kind of balanced shoemaker. Of course, like I learned shoemaking in England, but I've never learned like a business side before. But like apart from shoemaking, like a communication is important, and I can communicate in English, so I can take international orders. Also, I like photography, so I enjoy taking photos. So I put photos of our shoes on Instagram. That's like how a lot of like people started to know us.
Yeah, because how have you worked with the brand image?
I think the customers have the right to choose anything from anywhere. So, for example, like if you want a black like Oxford shoes, probably more than 100 companies produce black Oxford. So you can buy the shoes from big brands, or you can choose small brands. And okay, people may know that most of the Japanese bespoke companies are very small. For example, like packaging. Probably big like shoe brands have got their own designer to create beautiful packaging. But small companies like us, we don't have a designer. But we cannot say, like, sorry, we don't have a designer. So there's like no shoebox, no shoe bag. We have to make shoe bag. We have to make, have a like a shoebox. So we have to do something.
Yeah, because you have a very thought-through approach there. I mean, you have like a visual profile, you can say, and you had it's on the shoe boxes with nice wooden shoe boxes, and you, in that way, like you say, you have that sort of luxury experience that you have from the big brands. Is that important? You would say?
Yeah, I think that's very important. Like even you make great shoes, like you don't want very nice shoes in a plastic bag. You want to feel like the quality. So service must be good. I think everything is very important. But like compared to like big companies, we have advantages and disadvantages. And like my company is very small, so I can make a decision very quickly. Also, we can do like something big companies cannot do. So that's our advantage. For instance, our shoe boxes are very expensive. Probably like big companies don't want to like spend a lot of money for the shoe box. But I thought, why not? We could use beautiful shoe box it's made in Japan.
Yeah, cool. And as you mentioned, for example, then you put a lot of effort into the pictures you take of your shoes. What do you think this have meant for your success?
Yeah, they say like if the quality of shoes is good, the quality of photo needs to be good. I feel bad when the quality of product is good, but the photo is bad, or opposite. Like quality of product is bad, but the quality of photo is good. And if you don't know like much about the product, it's very hard to like distinguish the good quality and bad quality. And if you don't read the text on like Instagram, you just look at the photos, and it's very hard to understand.
And I mean, because you are sort of interested in photography, right? It's like almost a second hobby, so to speak.
I started.
If you would call shoemaking a hobby, it's not anymore, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I started taking photos when I was 7 years old.
Yeah, so you've done it.
I've been enjoying photography.
I always joke about that. You have this sort of counter here in your showroom, which is every year that I come back to Tokyo and visit you, it has moved a bit further away because the new photography equipment is
that's right.
stored behind it.
Our showroom is becoming smaller every year,
but the pictures is getting better and better. So
thank you. It's similar to like shoemaking, like pattern cutting.
In what way would you say?
In like space, it's important. Balance is important. and how we want to show the shoes is known by us, not known by photographers. So I had asked a photographer to take our shoe photos before, but I wanted to take photos from different angles.
It's the composition and all the aesthetic parts that's similar to making shoe patterns. And that.
Yeah, that's right. Like balance, proportion. Yeah.
And with the very tough competition that we have for bespoke shoemakers today, not least here in Japan, but it's also the case in Europe. How important is brand building today?
I think the brand building is very, very important now. And the market for bespoke shoes is very small in the world. I think less than 0.1% of the population is able to buy bespoke shoes.
Yeah, if even that.
Yeah. Also, like our production capacity is very limited because we are small companies. And for instance, my company can only make 100 pairs of bespoke shoes for 1 year. And some bespoke shoemakers think like they cannot take good orders because they don't offer many shoe styles to customers. So they try to offer many style of shoes. As a result, they lose their identity. So I don't think that's a good idea. For example, if there's a good Italian pizza restaurant, you don't want that pizza restaurant to make Japanese food or French food. You go to the pizza restaurant to eat good pizza.
Yeah.
So you don't really need to offer other things. You should do what you are good at. So I think that's very important thing. And our house style is Oxford shoes. That is what we are good at. And more than 60% of our sales are still Oxford. So I think it's very important to be able to picture the image of the shoe brand. So I think identity is very, very important. That's why we need to learn brand building.
Yeah. And how important is the whole picture, so to speak, that the shoes feels connected to the showroom where you meet the people, the bags and boxes, the logos and all that. Is that important that you have feel like a whole?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, if you go to a luxury brand store, okay, there are everything is good, and but customers can compare. Even our shoes are expensive, and luxury shoe store, their shoes are expensive too. So we can't say, sorry, we are a small company.
You have to keep up.
Keep up and
well.
At least we have to try our best.
Hermes might have a head start in that regard, but I understand what you mean. But would you say that shoemakers in general, are they good at brand building and all this?
I don't think shoemakers in general they are good at this. And I'm a shoemaker, and I've never learned about business, but I know it's very important to learn a bit of everything. So I read books, I listen to my friends' advice, and yeah, we just try our best.
And you also have nowadays. You also, of course, build a name of yourself, but and your brand. But you do different collaborations with other shoe brands like Jane Weston. I know that now you're collaborating with a Danish furniture company, and you make leather goods and stuff like that. It's is it all just because you enjoy it, or is it part of building your brand?
One thing is I enjoy doing that, and the other thing, as you said, it's a good way to build our brand strong. And there are, I think, 3 important things for shoemakers. One is like to keep this tradition, skill, and pass them to the next generation. And number 2, we have to make a good environment for shoemakers, for customers, and for everyone. And number 3, we have to keep challenging. So it takes much longer time if I want to introduce my brand to the world, but with other companies' help, we can grow a little bit faster. And if there are some advantage for both, I think that's a kind of good idea.
Could you give some examples of other bespoke shoemakers that you think have built a good brand for themselves?
If you think about George Cleverly, I think you can picture the image of chiseled toe shoes in your head. And I think Gajan and Garling and Cote have very strong identities. That's maybe one of the reasons companies have grown up very quickly. So I think it's very important to know the products. Like even you don't see the labels, you know which brand made the shoes.
Yeah, that you should be able to be distinguished only by seeing the shoe and knowing who have made it, so to speak. Yeah,
that's right.
And for new bespoke shoemakers that are setting up his or her brand, what advice would you give to them when it comes to creating a name and reaching out?
I think it is nice to have a cool brand name, but sometimes it's okay, good name in Asia, but sometimes it's strange name in Europe. That may happen. And of course, easy name, simple name is easy to remember. So Yohei Fukuda, it's a bit difficult to remember, but it's my name.
I remember that when I started getting to know about you. It was a bit all of these Japanese bespoke shoemakers that were around. It was difficult to understand how you pronounced it and to remember as a European.
Yeah, that's right. So I think the new bespoke shoemakers should listen to your advice and see if the brand name are okay to use.
So brand name is one thing. What other advice would you give to a new one?
Well, we don't have to be the same as others. We can be very individual. We can our market is not that big, it's like a kind of top of pyramid. We cannot make like 1 million shoes. Okay, we make 100 shoes. So sometimes it's important to say no to others.
Well, can you explain what do you mean with saying no to others?
For instance, like some customers come into our store and some customers say, oh, I want to order like a very sleek, long Italian shoes. But we are not good at making that sort of style. So we recommend other Italian shoemakers to that customer. So I feel like being like very like honest. I think that's very important to like have a good relationship with the customer.
And will brand building become even more important in the future, do you think?
Yes, I think so. I think brand image cannot be like decided by a company. Brand image is decided by customers. But the brand building is like a message from a company. So it's interesting to know what the company like want to tell, what companies want to do, and so I think it's brands building is very important now, especially like people buy most of things online. And if you go to stores, you could feel the atmosphere of the brand. You could talk to people and listen to the stories. But now it's quite difficult.
Yeah, how I mean, of course, pictures is one thing, but otherwise, how do you transfer the experience that you have in the physical stores or showrooms to the online platforms? It's
That's a good question. Good question. Yeah, I think the world is changing very fast. So in 30 years later, we will like some people say like 50% of the jobs will be the new jobs. So we never know what's it's going to be happening.
People are ordering stuff more and more on these voice assistants. So that will be a challenge to transfer the shoe ordering systems to Google Assistant and Alexa.
Yeah. And when I was in London, I was shocked by like looking at the window display of the shoe company. The shoe company had been making shoes over 100 something years, but all the display shoes were trainers. There was no like classic leather men's shoes. So the world is changing, and we have to see.
Because we talked a bit about it, but social media and Instagram, especially in the case of shoemakers, have played a vital role in building brands. Is it how important has the Instagram page been for you? Would you say?
Yeah, I think Instagram is the most important tool for us. Yeah, it's quite easy to use, and if we like wanted to do like a advertisement of our shoes like 20 years ago, we had to ask like fashion magazines to put our shoes, and it would take long time and it would cost a lot of money. But for Instagram, if you take photos, you can put it now and it's free. And a lot of our customers find out our brand, from Instagram.
Yeah. That's where people find you.
Yeah, and the people like share photos on Instagram. So it's a new way of the kind of word of the mouth.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And how much more customer relations do you have on the digital platforms? Do you have a lot of questions and stuff like that you need to take care of, so to speak?
Yes.
Yeah.
I get like maybe 30 messages a day, and we try to reply all the messages and questions. The world is very convenient and it's easy to ask like question directly. And people, they get the like right answers from the brand.
What in looking at it now, you have you mentioned the most recent thing you've done is collaborations with Jane Weston and the furniture company. Do you have any other cool projects coming up that you can tell me about?
I've been thinking about some new collaboration,
Okay.
but we can tell you now.
Still secret then.
But we try to do challenge a new thing every year.
Okay. Yohei Fukuda, thank you very much for taking part in the Shoegazing podcast.
Oh, thank you very much for having me.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That's it for now. Visit shoegazing.se/English for much more on classic shoes. In a few weeks, I'll be back with a new edition of the podcast, so hear you again soon.